The gunman's finger trembled on the trigger. Cold metal pressed against the woman's temple as terrified shoppers cowered behind display cases in Rothwell's fine jewelry. November rain hammered the windows, each droplet catching chandelier light like liquid diamonds before racing down the glass. In that split second, a disheveled man in a worn leather jacket made a choice that would reveal a past he had buried for years and change two lives forever. Declan Mercer was not supposed to be here. He was not supposed to be anywhere near downtown Chicago, near jewelry worth more than his annual salary, near women in Armani suits who smelled like money and power. But his 7-year-old daughter, Wren, had pressed her nose against the window, mesmerized by a silver locket engraved with tiny stars, and he could not say no. He could never say no to those eyes. They were Marisol's eyes. 60 seconds earlier, Declan had felt profoundly out of place. His leather jacket had seen better days, probably sometime during the first Bush administration. Water still dripped from hair he had neglected to cut for 3 months. Not a style choice, but simple mathematics. Haircuts cost money, and money meant food for Wren. She stood beside him now, her small nose pressed against the glass case, her breath fogging the surface. "Daddy, look at this one." Her voice was hushed with wonder. "Do you think Mommy would have liked it?" Declan's throat tightened. 3 years since Marisol's death, and Wren still spoke about her mother in present tense sometimes. "She would have loved it, sweetheart." "Your mom loved anything with stars." The price tag read $450, more than he would make in a week at the construction site. A sales associate approached with a particular smile reserved for customers who obviously could not afford anything. "Can I help you?" "Just looking." "Of course, though we will be closing in 30 minutes. The message was clear. You do not belong here. That is when she walked in. Saraphina Vance moved through the world like she owned it. At 34, she was the youngest CEO in Vance Pharmaceuticals history. The financial press called her ruthlessly brilliant. Her competitors feared her. Tonight, she wore a charcoal Armani suit that cost more than Declan's monthly rent. Her dark hair was pulled back in a severe bun that emphasized sharp cheekbones and eyes that missed nothing. "Ms. Vance!" The store manager appeared instantly. "What a pleasure!" Declan watched the same associate who had been eager to usher them out, practically genuflect as Saraphina passed. Money did not just talk, it commanded. "She is pretty," Wren whispered. "Do not stare, baby." The front door exploded inward. A man in a black ski mask charged through, Glock held high, 6'2", maybe 220 pounds, moving with jittery energy that screamed high on something stronger than adrenaline. "Everybody down! Now!" Screams erupted. The elderly couple near wedding rings dropped to the floor. The sales associate ducked behind the counter. Declan did not drop. Instead, he moved on pure instinct, pushing Wren behind a solid display case, pressing her down with one hand while his eyes tracked the threat. "Stay down. Baby," he whispered urgently. "Do not move, no matter what happens." The gunman spotted Saraphina. Expensive suit, designer watch. You are coming with me. Insurance policy." He grabbed her arm, gun pressed against her ribs, backing toward the door. Declan's mind ran calculations with cold precision. Distance 12 feet. The gunman's stance was wrong. Too much weight on his back foot. Amateur. Dangerous, but amateur. The gunman looked back at the door, checking his exit. His gun hand dropped slightly. Declan moved. Not like a construction worker. Not like a single dad who spent evenings helping with homework. He moved like what he really was. A former Delta Force operator who had spent 8 years doing things that never made the news. The first rule of close quarters combat was violence of action. Do not hesitate. Do not telegraph. His left hand clamped on the gunman's wrist. His right elbow drove into the solar plexus with enough force to drop a horse. The gun went off, bullet punching through a chandelier, raining crystal shards like frozen tears. The gunman's wrist snapped. A knee strike to the ribs. Down. Stay down, Declan said quietly, boot on the man's back. It is over. 10 seconds. The whole thing took 10 seconds. Declan found Wren behind the display case and pulled her into his arms. You promised, she whispered into his shoulder. You promised you would not do the soldier stuff anymore. His chest ached with guilt. I know, baby, I am sorry, but someone was in trouble. Saraphina Vance stood nearby, her perfect composure shattered. Hair loose from its bun, blood on her cheek from the gunman. You saved my life, she said. Right place, right time. No, that was training. Who are you? Police burst through the door before he could answer. The next several minutes were chaos. Statements, questions. A skeptical detective named Murphy who wondered how a construction worker disarmed an armed robber. I got lucky, Declan said. He was not expecting anyone to fight back. Murphy stared at him. Lucky. Right. As the gunman was led away, Saraphina approached again. I need to thank you properly. Can I have your contact information? That is not necessary. Wren lifted her head. Daddy needs a job. A real job. Not the kind where they do not pay him sometimes. Declan's face burned with embarrassment, but Seraphina was looking at Wren with something soft in her expression. Is that so? What kind of work does your daddy do? He builds things and fixes things. He can fix anything. Seraphina pressed a business card into Declan's hand. Call me tomorrow. Anyone who can do what you just did is someone I want on my team. Declan looked at the card. Vance Pharmaceuticals, the company whose experimental treatment had failed to save Marisol. I do not need charity. It is not charity. It is good business sense. She paused. There is more to you than you are letting on, Mr. Mercer. Daddy, say yes, Wren whispered. Declan looked at his daughter's hopeful eyes. I will think about it. As they left, Seraphina called out, that insignia on your jacket collar, 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta, is it not? Declan stopped but did not turn. I do not know what you are talking about. Of course not. My mistake. On the bus home, Wren asleep against his shoulder, Declan caught a glimpse through the rain-streaked window that made his blood run cold. A black SUV with tinted windows. Following them, the same SUV he had noticed outside their apartment building 3 times this week. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. Hello, Declan? The voice was familiar. Colonel Gideon Webb, his former handler from the activity. I heard you had an interesting evening. What do you want, Webb? To help. You have been burned, Declan. Someone leaked your location, your new identity, everything. Every enemy you ever made now knows exactly where to find you. Who? That is the million-dollar question. Could be Russians. You did kill General Volkov's son in Chechnya. Could be Iranians. Or someone closer to home. What do you suggest? Come back in. Let us protect you. There is a significant bounty on your head. 8 figures. The last time I trusted you, my wife was dying, and you would not let me come home to see her. Declan hung up. 8 figures. Someone was willing to pay tens of millions for him dead, and they knew exactly where to find his daughter. 3 days passed. 3 days of looking over his shoulder. 3 days of checking the locks repeatedly. 3 days of noticing the black SUV parked on different streets, but always within sight. Declan had resisted Seraphina's offer. He did not need her money or her pity. Then the man appeared at Wren's school. The principal called at noon. A man had approached the playground fence, called Wren by name, said he was a friend of her father. Wren had not believed him, had run to her teacher, but not before she saw the gun under his jacket. He knew things, Daddy, Wren told him that night. He knew about Mommy. He knew my teacher's name. Declan held her tighter. The next morning, he called Saraphina's number. Her penthouse occupied the 50th floor of a black glass tower. Security was subtle but comprehensive. Metal detectors, hidden cameras, guards who moved like men who had seen combat. "Thank you for seeing us," Declan said stiffly. "I would not have called if I had any other choice." "I know." Seraphina crouched to Ren's level. "Hello, Ren. Your daddy told me you like stars. Do you know what helps me feel better when I'm tired? Hot chocolate with extra marshmallows." Ren's wariness melted. "Can I have whipped cream too?" "All you want." The penthouse was everything Declan expected. Floor-to-ceiling windows, modern furniture, a kitchen from a magazine. But what struck him most was the emptiness. No photographs. No personal touches. "Why are you helping us?" he asked while Ren explored with the housekeeper. "You do not know us. You saved my life. That is not enough for this." Seraphina stared out at the city. "Have you ever felt like you are drowning in your own success? Like you have built this perfect image and it is slowly suffocating you?" Declan did not answer. "I have been CEO for 5 years. Board meetings, profit margins, no real connections." She turned to face him. "Last night was the first time in years I felt truly alive. You are an adrenaline junkie. Maybe, or maybe I am just tired of being alone." Ren came bounding back with hot chocolate. "Seraphina, you look like you need a friend. I can be your friend." The CEO mask slipped, revealing the lonely woman beneath. "I would like that very much, Ren." That night, while Ren slept, Seraphina showed Declan her father's study. "He built Vance Pharmaceuticals from nothing. But after he died, I found these." She pulled files from a hidden safe. Operations, financial records, names Declan recognized from the activity. "Your father was connected to military intelligence?" "More than connected, he funded black operations." She pulled out a photograph. Colonel Gideon Webb stared back from the image. "Webb was on your father's payroll for 15 years. And there is more." She handed him another file. "3 weeks ago, there was a classified congressional hearing investigating war crimes. Your name came up." "That is impossible. Someone testified you went rogue in Pakistan, killed a CIA asset, sold weapons." She met his eyes. "The testimony came from Webb, and according to these records, Webb has been selling intelligence to the Chinese for 6 years. 37 operators dead because of him." The pieces clicked together. "Webb burned me to protect himself. If I am dead, I cannot testify." Ren appeared in the doorway, clutching her blanket. "I had a bad dream. The man from school said Daddy was a monster." Something broke inside Declan. He gathered her into his arms. "But I told him he was wrong," Ren continued. "I said Daddy is not a monster. Monsters hurt people because they like it. Daddy only hurts people who try to hurt us first. That is different." She turned to Seraphina. "Mommy told me something before she went to heaven. She said Daddy was the strongest man she ever knew, but everyone needs someone to be strong for them sometimes." Ren tilted her head. "You have sad eyes like Daddy. Maybe you can be strong for each other." Silence filled the room. Seraphina's eyes glistened. The attack came 2 hours later. A distant boom shook the building. Then another, closer. The lights died, replaced by red emergency lighting. Declan was already moving. "Car bomb in the parking garage. They are taking out infrastructure." "Who?" "Spetsnaz. Russian military." He grabbed a weapon from the safe. "Get Ren to the panic room. Lock yourselves in." "What about you?" "I am going hunting." "Daddy?" Ren's voice trembled. "You have that look again, the one that scares me." He knelt to her level, forcing the warrior back into its cage. "I need you to be brave. Can you take care of Saraphina until I come back? Ren looked at the woman holding her hand. Okay, but you have to come back. I promise. The bolts engaged behind them. Declan became someone else. 5 operators moved through the penthouse. Full tactical gear, night vision, suppressed weapons. They were good, but they had made a critical mistake. They thought they were hunting a broken man clinging to his past. They were hunting Ghost, the operative who had turned a Taliban stronghold into a graveyard. The shadow who had walked into Tehran and walked out with a diplomat the Iranians swore they would never release. The first operator never heard him coming. Blood choked from behind. 3 seconds and down. He took the man's weapon and radio. Alpha 1, report. Declan keyed the mic, coughing to disguise his voice. Area clear, moving to secondary. 3 left. The second was checking rooms methodically, but he was watching doorways, not looking up. Declan dropped from the ceiling fixture. Quick, clean. Final. Shots fired! Alpha 2 is down! The remaining operators pulled back toward the entrance. Declan knew the penthouse now. Every corridor, every shadow. He came at them from behind through the service entrance. The firefight was brief and brutal. When the smoke cleared, 5 bodies lay still. His phone rang. Impressive, Webb said. 5 operators in under 4 minutes. You sent them. I warned you. There is a difference. You burned me to cover your treason. 37 operators dead because of you. Silence. Who told you that? Does it matter? I have proof, and if anything happens to my family, it goes public. He hung up and knocked on the panic room door with the agreed pattern. Ren burst through and threw herself into his arms. You came back. I promised. Saraphina stood behind her, the unfired Glock still ready. We cannot stay here, she said. They will send more. I know, it is time to stop running. My godfather, General Cormac Ashworth, retired JSOC commander. He can help. Can you trust him? With my life, he is honorable. Declan looked at Ren asleep against Saraphina's side. His daughter trusted this woman, and watching Saraphina with her these past days, braiding her hair, answering endless questions, he had started trusting her too. Make the call. They drove through the night, leaving Wisconsin behind. The cabin grew small in the rearview mirror, then vanished. Another temporary refuge. Another place that had been safe until it was not. Saraphina had arranged everything. A safe house in Chicago, a meeting with Ashworth, a plan that balanced on a knife's edge. Ren slept in the back seat, her head on Declan's lap. You have not said anything in an hour, Saraphina said, thinking. About what happens if this fails. About what happens if it succeeds. He looked at her profile in the dashboard glow. I have been running so long, I am not sure I remember how to stand still. We will figure it out. Together. The Chicago skyline emerged from darkness as dawn painted the sky, amber and steel. Somewhere in that maze of glass and shadows, Colonel Gideon Webb was waking up to what he thought would be another ordinary day. He was wrong. Today the ghosts were coming for him. Millennium Park parking garage, level B3. General Cormac Ashworth waited beside a black Suburban, silver-haired, military-bearing despite civilian clothes. But he was not alone. Declan spotted them immediately. 2 men in a car 30 meters away, another on the level above. A fourth near the stairwell. It is a trap. A thin man with silver hair and dead eyes stepped forward. Mr. Mercer, I am Director Aldrich Thorne, National Security Agency. Interesting way to arrange a meeting. Necessary precautions. You have left quite a body count. They started it. Ren stepped forward despite Declan's restraining hand. They tried to take me from school. Daddy was just protecting us. Thorne's expression flickered. National security does not care about individual motivations. What matters is that a supposedly dead operator is killing Russian assets on American soil. Colonel Webb is a traitor. Ashworth's voice cut through. Everyone turned. 3 months ago, I received evidence that Webb has been selling intelligence to the Chinese. 37 operators dead because of him. General, you are speaking out of turn. I am speaking truth. Webb burned Mercer because he could expose him. You knew this. Saraphina's voice was ice. You let him burn Declan to protect your investigation? Thorne stepped forward. Here is how this ends. Mr. Mercer comes with us. His daughter goes into protective custody. And if I refuse, we take you anyway, and the girl goes into the system. Wren walked directly up to Director Thorne. You are a bully, she said clearly. My mommy told me about bullies. She said they are scared people pretending to be strong. What are you scared of? Fear flashed in Thorne's eyes. This is not about Pakistan, Declan said slowly. It is about Webb. You are protecting him. He paused. You are his partner. Saraphina pulled out her father's tablet. According to these files, Director Thorne has been receiving payments through a shell company, $2.7 million, approving black budget programs that violate international law. Programs Webb ran. Thorne's face went pale. These files are uploaded to 17 servers in 12 countries, Saraphina continued. Dead man's switch. We do not check in every 72 hours. Everything goes to the Washington Post, New York Times, and WikiLeaks simultaneously. You would not. My company developed the encryption software your agency uses. I know every backdoor. She smiled coldly. Touch us, and the intelligence community burns. Declan stepped forward. Here is what happens. Webb gets arrested tonight. Treason, espionage. Our records are wiped, new identities, and we disappear. Ashworth nodded. Director, take the deal. Webb was always a liability. Long silence. Thorne pulled out his phone. It is done, he said finally, face gray. Webb is being arrested. New identities within 48 hours. He handed Declan a tablet with a signed presidential finding. You are free, Mr. Mercer. I did not blackmail you. I reminded you that even shadows follow rules. That night in a safe house across the city, Declan's phone rang. Webb's number. You destroyed everything. Webb's voice was raw, broken. You destroyed yourself the moment you sold out your people. I did what I had to do. You gave up 37 lives. Goodbye, Webb. He hung up. Wren stood in the doorway. Is the bad man going away forever? Yes, baby, forever. She ran to him. Daddy, can Saraphina come with us? To our new home? Declan looked at the woman nearby, tears on her cheeks. If she wants to, I do, Saraphina said quietly. I want to stop being alone. Wren smiled. Good, because Daddy needs someone. Mommy told me. She said after she was gone, Daddy should find someone who could take care of him. She did not say that. She did, right before her last surgery. She said you were the strongest man she knew, but everyone needs someone to be strong for them sometimes. Saraphina knelt to Wren's level. Your mommy sounds very wise. She was. She would have liked you. Wren looked at Declan. Would she not, Daddy? Declan thought about Marisol, her laugh, her stubbornness, her insistence that he keep living. Yeah, baby, she would have. 1 year later, Miami, a Spanish colonial house with red tile roof, palm trees in the yard, a pool that sparkled impossibly blue. Wren, now Emery in their new life, ran through the backyard, a golden retriever puppy named Starlight chasing her heels. Mom! Dad! Watch me! Saraphina, now Dr. Grace Ashbury, caught Declan's eye across the patio. The words still made her breath catch. She called me Mom again. 3rd time today. I do not know if I deserve it. You show up. Every day. That is what family means. Declan was Daniel Ashbury now, high school history teacher, a man who built things instead of destroying them. The nightmares were fading. He still checked the locks, but the fear was quieter now. I talked to the foundation today, Saraphina said. The Marisol Mercer Scholarship Fund awarded its first grants. 15 kids getting support. Marisol would have liked that. It is not enough, but it is something. Emery ran up, breathless. Can Starlight sleep in my room tonight? She has her own bed, sweetheart. But she gets lonely. I will keep her company. We can be lonely together, and then we will not be lonely at all. Declan looked at Saraphina. She was trying not to laugh. Fine. One night. Yes. Emery ran off with the puppy. She has you wrapped around her finger. She has us both wrapped. That night they sat on the balcony, watching stars emerge over Miami. I got a message from Ashworth, Saraphina said. Webb died last week. Prison altercation. Declan felt nothing. The man who had burned him was simply gone. Does it help? Knowing he is gone? No, but it is done. That is enough. She was quiet for a moment. Do you ever regret it? The jewelry store. Saving me. Everything after. I was nobody before that night. Going through motions. Waiting to die without actually dying. He turned to face her. You reminded me I was still alive. You saved yourself. I just provided the opportunity. You provided a lot more than that. He kissed her slowly. The door slid open. Emery appeared in pajamas, puppy at her heels. I cannot sleep. Can we watch the stars? Mommy used to say every star is someone who loved us, watching over us. They settled on the balcony together. Declan, Saraphina, Emery, and one wiggly puppy. See that one? Emery pointed at the brightest star. That is Mommy, the brightest one. How do you know? Because she loved us the most, and when you love the most, you shine the brightest. Saraphina's hand found Declan's in the darkness. What do you think she sees when she looks down at us? Emery considered this seriously. I think she sees us happy. And that makes her happy too, because that is what she wanted, for Daddy to smile again, for me to have a family. She looked between them. We are a family now, right? Yeah, baby, we are a family. Good, because Mommy told me families are not just people you are born with. Families are people who choose you, and I choose you both. The stars wheeled overhead, ancient light traveling millions of years to reach this small balcony where three people had found something rare. Not a replacement for what was lost, not forgetting the past. Something new, something whole, Phoenix rising. She is asleep, Saraphina whispered. Declan lifted his daughter gently and carried her to bed. She was getting heavier, growing fast. Soon she would be too big to carry, but not yet. When he returned, Saraphina was still watching the stars. I spent 34 years building walls, accumulating power, proving things to people who did not matter. She turned to him. One night, a man in a worn leather jacket showed me what actual strength looks like. I am not strong. You ran toward the gun. Everyone else ran away. That is not training. That is who you are. He pulled her close. Come to bed, she said. Declan took one last look at the stars, at the brightest one, where Marisol watched over them. 3 years ago, he had been a ghost, a man waiting to die without the courage to actually do it, a father going through motions, a soldier bearing his past. Now he was Daniel Ashbury, husband, father, teacher. A man who had learned that strength was not about fighting, it was about choosing to live, choosing to love, choosing to believe that broken things could become whole again. Yeah, he said, let us go home. The stars continued their ancient dance overhead. But here, in this house with its red tile roof and palm trees, Three people had found what so many spend their entire lives searching for: a second chance, a family, a home. And that was enough. That was everything.